Our top story tonight, the trial of a Fort Stewart soldier accused of shooting 5 people on post is set to begin tomorrow after a judge rejected a key defense motion today.
Sergeant Cornelius Radford's attorneys argued the case should be thrown out over alleged improper influence of a government witness. WSAV's Evan Smoke was in the courtroom as the judge issued his decision.
The defense team for Sergeant Cornelius Radford argued Monday that the remaining charges should be dropped due to unlawful command influence of a key witness. The judge did not agree. The motion stemmed from a counseling meeting that Sergeant Randall Brown had on May 8th. Brown was a law enforcement officer who took custody of Radford after being arrested after shooting 5 people at Fort Stewart on August 8, 2025. The defense argued that in this counseling, Brown was potentially influenced to testify a certain way or face punishment. Brown was called to the meeting for failure to read Radford, as well as a second person in a separate incident of their Article 31 rights. The defense continued that the timing of the counseling in May, after Radford had pled guilty to multiple charges in March, was potential proof of unlawful command influence, and asserted that Brown was the only witness the government or prosecution has that could prove Radford's intent. The defense sought relief by dismissing the remaining charges and/or barring Brown from testifying. Prosecutors argued that the counseling was only intended to inform Brown he was being temporarily reassigned while the review of potential rights violations was ongoing. The prosecution added that Brown was only informed to tell the truth during this meeting, something Brown himself testified. Following arguments from both sides, the judge denied the motion. The trial for the remaining charges, which center around Radford's intent last August, will begin Tuesday at 9 a.m. Reporting from Fort Stewart, Evan Smoke, WSAV News 3, on your side.
A 26-year-old Claxton man is behind bars tonight accused of a deadly weekend shooting that claimed the life of a 19-year-old. The GBI says that Evans County deputies responded to a shooting just after 2:30 Sunday morning at Iron Eagle on Highway 280 in Claxton. When deputies arrived, they found Jamari Johnson shot. He later died at a hospital. Javion Humans has been charged with felony murder, aggravated assault, and possession of a firearm during the commission of a crime. Humans is being held in the Tattnall County Jail.
Some new developments now. A 2024 murder case is stalled in court after a judge pushed back against delays in the prosecution's readiness. Elijah Roundtree is accused of shooting and killing 23-year-old Sincere Ward while allegedly firing at a different man. Now in court today, Roundtree's attorney asked the judge to continue the hearing, saying the district attorney's office had not yet assigned someone to the case. The judge did not set a new court date, but said, given the nature of the case, it's, quote, unacceptable that it's not ready to move forward.
5 Lowcountry men facing murder charges in connection with a deadly shooting in Hampton County. The sheriff's office says the 19-year-old Josiah Smartov was killed during an incident on May 24th on Two Sisters Ferry Road in Nixville. Those arrested are Devin Walker, Jaquan Garnes, Henry Kearse Jr., Jeremiah Walker, and DeAndre Gant. Investigators say each of the 5 has been charged with murder, assault or attempted murder, and attempted armed robbery. The sheriff's office says the investigation remains active and additional charges may be filed.
Now to a story you'll only see here on WSAV. More than 6 years after the killing of Ahmaud Arbery shocked the nation, his father is sharing his family's story in a new book. Marcus Arbery Sr. sat down with me today to talk about Where's Daddy? The Ahmaud Arbery story, a book that looks beyond the headlines to tell a story of fatherhood, loss, resilience, and healing. Ahmaud Arbery was 25 years old when he was chased and shot to death while jogging through a Brunswick neighborhood in February of 2020. Now, his father says he wants people to see the man Ahmaud was and the impact his life continues to have on others.
Lover, he was the youngest, but he acted like he was the oldest. He was so protected of his brother and sister. I looked at him, I said, you think you the oldest? I'm talking about every time his sister come home with college, he get with her, they go out. And I said, where y'all going at? Dad, we going to Wings and Things, because that was my daughter know my spot to go eat. He ain't want her dating nobody. That was her date, her younger brother, because he was so protected of her.
The book release and tour launch for Where's Daddy? The Ahmaud Arbery story will be held Saturday, June 20th at Old Time Country Buffet in Brunswick. The event runs from 5 until 7 p.m.
New at 6, the Effingham County Sheriff's Office is warning residents after a string of vehicle break-ins in the Shadowbrook subdivision. Investigators say they've received numerous reports of juveniles stealing from cars over the past week. The Sheriff's Office is urging residents to lock their cars, remove valuables from site, and never leave firearms unsecured in a car. Officials are also asking parents to check in with their children and report any information that could help recover stolen firearms or identify those responsible.
WSAV is your local election headquarters, and tomorrow, Georgia voters will return to the polls for this year's primary election runoff. In the Republican U.S. Senate runoff, President Donald Trump has endorsed Congressman Mike Collins, calling him a strong supporter and winner. Collins is facing former football coach Derek Dooley for the nomination. The winner will go on to face Democratic Senator Jon Ossoff in November. In the Republican gubernatorial runoff, Lieutenant Governor Burt Jones has picked up endorsements from Governor Brian Kemp and Congressman Buddy Carter. Jones is running against businessman Rick Jackson. The winner will advance to November to face Democratic candidate and former Atlanta Mayor Keisha Lance Bottoms.
Meanwhile, in South Carolina, early voting for the June 23rd runoff opens on Wednesday and Thursday of this week. It will be closed Friday for the Juneteenth holiday. On Hilton Head, the Republican women of southern Beaufort County hosted several candidates making pleas to voters. That included Jenny Honeycutt and Mark Smith running for South Carolina's first district congressional seat, along with two Republicans in the Attorney General's race, David Stumbo and Stephen Goldfinch. The winner of the first congressional runoff will face either of the Democratic candidates, Mac DeFord or Nancy LaCour, in November. In the governor's race, the U.S. Representative Ralph Norman has endorsed Attorney General Alan Wilson, calling him a prosecutor and combat veteran who would advance a conservative agenda. Wilson is facing current Lieutenant Governor Pamela Abbott in the June 23rd runoff. Abbott has been endorsed by President Trump and Governor McMaster.
I am convinced Alan Wilson is the man for the job. Over the last several days, I will be doing what I can to ensure my voters turn out to vote with him and that we can ensure a decisive victory for him on June 23rd. Let's continue to fight for a stronger, more conservative South Carolina and elect Alan Wilson.
You can find more information on voting and candidates on our website. Just go to wsav.com/electionhq.
Now, Time Saver Traffic, sponsored by Arrowhead Clinic, the accident doctors, where it pays to get well.
For our Monday evening commute, we haven't been experiencing many major issues on the roadways around the Coastal Empire or Low Country, taking just about an hour to get from Savannah to Statesboro, under a half an hour right now to get down to Richmond Hill, and nothing weather-wise in around the city to slow us down, though we are starting to watch some shower and thunderstorm activity work its way into the southwestern part of the area. This will start to overspread more of the region as we head through the late evening and overnight, with more storms likely on Tuesday. We'll have all the details coming up.